us volíem donar la benvinguda a aquest acte organitzat per l'ACS, per l'Associació Catalana de Sociologia. Farem, com ja sabeu, un doble acte. En primer lloc estarem dialogant amb els professors Sari Hanafi i Marta Soler sobre la sociologia dialògica i després volíem fer un homenatge a també un gran professor sociòleg que ens va deixar malauradament, en Michael Burawoy, i farem consecutiu les dues coses, ja que tenim amics de Michael Burawoy. Si us sembla, us presentaré una miqueta els dos ponents que tenim i ho farem molt dialògic, ja que parlarem de sociologia dialògica. Farem a través de preguntes i de debat. I després també esperem que des del públic continuem amb aquesta sessió dialògica. Llavors, en primer lloc, us vull presentar breument, ja els coneixeu, però breument subratllar alguns elements cabdals de les persones que ens acompanyen. En primer lloc, el professor Sari Hanafi, ell és professor de Sociologia de la Universitat Nord-americana de Beirut i és chair del programa d'Estudis Islàmics. És doctorat de l'Escola d'Alts Estudis en Ciències Socials, aquí estic molt contenta, som exalumnes els dos amb el mateix director. Ha estat president de l'Associació Internacional de Sociologia el 2018 fins al 2023. És editor i de FAT, The Arab Journal of Sociology, i ha creat el portal de l'impacte social de la recerca científica al món àrab. És doctor honoris causa per la Universitat Nacional de San Marcos, a Perú, i és autor de nombrosos articles, llibres sobre sociologia de la religió, de sociologia de la migració forçada, i entre ells destacar el llibre Studying Islam in the Arab World, The Rupture Between Religion and the Social Sciences. I en segon lloc, ens deixem moltes coses, només és una breu pinzellada, i en segon lloc ens acompanya Marta Soler. Ella és catedràtica de Sociologia de la Universitat de Barcelona i doctora per la Universitat de Harvard. Ha estat presidenta de l'Associació Europea de Sociologia del 2019 fins al 2021 i ha estat també presidenta de la nostra associació, de l'ACS, el 2018 fins al 2020, i actualment és vicepresidenta de publicacions de l'Associació Internacional de Sociologia, on ha estat editora de la International de Sociologia fins al 2022. És autora també de més de 30 articles JCR sobre impacte social de la recerca, socialització preventiva de la violència de gènere o inclusió educativa, i entre ells destacar Achieving Social Impact, Sociology in the Public Sphere. Per tant, sense allargar més, començar a la primera pregunta que plantejaríem per introduir seria què és la sociologia dialògica, per què la necessitem avui. So, what is dialogic sociology and why we need it today? So, Marta, I don't know if you want to start.
Okay, so thank you very much, Lena, for this introduction. Now we change into English. So I'm very pleased to be able to be, first of all, to be able to be here to have a dialogue with my colleague, Sari Hanafi, especially about a topic like dialogic sociology that we've been talking a lot lately about this. So first, Lena asked us to give an introduction, each of us, of what is for us dialogic sociology and why we need it today. So I'll try to answer to this question briefly, in 5 minutes or so. Dialogic sociology means constructing sociological knowledge in dialogue, in dialogue between whom? In dialogue among sociologists, but also between sociologists and people, scientists from different disciplines, between sociologists and different peoples from the different sectors of society. So it is constructing knowledge in dialogue, but with different people, different backgrounds, but not for the sake of knowledge, not for having a best knowledge of society. Is having all this dialogue to improve society, to have, to improve the life of citizens with whom we talk, to improve the lives of citizens who want to know about our society. And this is what today in science we call this social impact, is doing sociology in dialogue because we want with sociology to have social impact, because we want to improve the life of people. Already the most important scientific programs in the world, they are putting this as a requirement, that, for instance, the framework program of research of the European Commission, if we want to get funding, we need to show how this knowledge that we will create through this research is going to have social impact. It's going to provide some kind of improvement to a sector of society with whom our research is related to. And also it's more and more the scientific community is asking that, that scientists, we not only publish what we do, but we also publish or talk or we gather evidence of the scientific evidence of the social impact that is related to our results of our work. So, along these lines, the same lines, the European Research Program not only is doing this as a requirement, we have social impact, but also for the first time, instead of asking the researchers, asking us, what do you think is important to do research now? That is what they used to do before, They say, no, the goals of the research program will be what the citizens say. This time is the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So now the whole framework program is focused on reducing poverty, decent labor, peace and justice, quality education, so the 17 SDGs. And also, I'm talking still about the program, the scientific program of Europe. It is focusing, says that everything that we publish, everything that we do from our research must be open, in open science. Why? Because the knowledge that we are creating should be, we should put that to the reach of the citizens, the society. And this is Article 27 of Human Rights, which is the right to participate and benefit from science. This is a human right. Science is a human right of all citizens. And this dialogic sociology is linked to this human right. That is how of science. This we consider this is the most important revolution of science ever. This revolution, actually, the open science, that the science for the people. This has been promoted by sociology to all sciences. And for this kind of way of doing sociology, this dialogic sociology that we are talking today here. So it's knowledge that can be used for citizens, for organizations, in order to orient their actions. So to put an example of this, some years ago, we talked with one Nobel Prize in medicine, Thaddeus Thurhausen, that he got the Nobel Prize because he found the link between papillomavirus and cervical cancer. And when we talked with him, he just got the Nobel Prize, and he was very concerned of. He didn't know, he said he found this very important finding from medicine, but what is most important, to universalize the vaccine to all the population or to increase the frequency of checkups? He didn't know. It's like, we need to work with you, sociologists. I need to work with you, And more, because this, in order to know what is best for people, we need to work together. And more we find scientists, from medicine, from engineering, that are coming, they want to talk to us, and they like this way of doing sociology, no? Because they are not so concerned about the unequal distribution of illness, which I think it's informative. We need to know that some illnesses are unequally distributed in society, but they're also very much concerned, and they want to know, no, is how we can reduce, no, the illness, no, to this different population in society, no. So I think this answers a little bit of why we need it today. And before I give maybe I'm over 5 minutes already, but before another aspect that I think is why we need this kind of sociology that is today in dialogue with many different scientists, many different peoples, no? Another aspect that I want to bring is that today we see in society, we've been talking a little bit about this, a rise of extreme ideologies, anti-system, no? Movements that they want to dismantle the democratic achievements that we have done in history, humanity have done in history. But we see all this, and we are very worried about all this, but at the same time, for instance, last year, 2024, was the year in history, no, that there were more democratic elections worldwide, ever. A year with more democratic elections. So maybe this tells us something, no, that there are more democratic elections, but we are very concerned about all this. So we see, because we are sociologists, there are many people that they are worried about inequalities, lack of jobs or opportunities, poverty. They are worried about violence, increase of attraction to violence. No? So, and many people, they choose in democratic elections what they think can solve this. Yeah? So I think it's a task that for us sociologists, no, of doing a sociology that brings solutions, no, that can bring knowledge, no, to people who are they want their life to be improved, no? And I think that we need to counter, no, all this fake information that is all around the world and provide, no, true information that many people want to know, no, that is not based on ideology, but is based on scientific evidence of social impact that can help improve the life of people, no? So this will be my second point, and I think I'll leave it here, and I give the floor to Sari.
First, I'm so glad to be with you again. Thank you, Lina and Marta, for the invitation. I fully agree with the way you conceptualize what is dialogical sociology, but we have a different positionality. I mean, I come from Lebanon, being Palestinian. I work on sociology of religion, so always meeting with religious community. So I start from observation that looking how, about our late modernity, with the authoritarianism, with the populism, people move to the right, environmental catastrophes, inequality, and so on. And I see the response of sociology and social science to our late modernity is inadequate. Inadequate because I think if historically our liberal democracy, if you like, become like what a kind of a universally accepted as a good governance, good society, it's in a crisis. And it's very easy to say that the problem, if people go to the right and you have the far right increasing everywhere. But my message to say whether there is problem with the message of the liberal left. And I argue that, yes, there is a problem. There is a violation of liberalism by their own camp. Social science, sociology, but other sectors, media, knowledge economy producer, they become classically liberal, but politically illiberal. I mean by classically liberal, it means espouses everything we like, this balance between freedom and equality, individual rights, universal creation of human rights, etc. But politically illiberal in a Rawlsian sense of political liberalism. The most important things in John Rawls, if we refer to him, is to tell us that while society should agree on one conception of justice, no discrimination against any basis, race, sexuality, gender, ethnicity, etc. But we need to keep the conception of the good in its pluralistic form up to individuals and communities. And so, I mean by the good is the way I will dress, the way I want to spend my time drinking, praying, whatever I want to what is my conception of the world, etc. So, I do believe that you have a strand, a major strand in sociology and social science wanted to impose their conception of the good. Imposing it, so I give different examples. For instance, secularism, I mean French-style secularism wanted to impose what the woman should dress. I think I bet Iran and France in the same sentence often, and this tease a lot of my French friends. I mean, say, yeah, both are imposing their conception of the good on women. It's about examples about family authorities, whether the state taking over family authority, whether the family is not part of the civic spheres in Geoffrey Alexander meaning. It means that it's a very important for society, etc. So against this symbolic liberalism, if you like, I said social science and sociology should go into a different of respecting the plurality of the conception of the good, and taking more seriously the social inequality. We have so much evidence that that is sometimes intersectional analysis, which has been extremely important. Suddenly we realize that the social class is falling away from the analysis, so it become about gender, ethnicity, race, etc. And then we do a lip service to social science. So, for instance, just to give example, so this is why I argue that social scientists should go into two levels on their mission of, if we agree that the major mission of social science is to support civil society, okay, and the marginalized group, and defend social equality and justice. In that case, the first level, they should provide knowledge to different actors in civil society. We should stop thinking that civil society is a progressive society. You have a different, you have a religious, non-conservative, you have a progressive, you have a feminist, we have a different strand of feminism. So we need to provide knowledge. And I think here the way Marta formulated about the importance of this knowledge moment, and there is a way of doing it, is very important. So this is what I call level of mediation. The second level, where we can go to a strong normativity. The first level also I called it soft normativity because it remained, there is a little bit of normativity. The first level is always under the umbrella of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of the conception of justice, etc. But the second level is where we can have really a strong position. In the second level, we can say, look, the woman veil is really a reminiscence of slavery. We can say this, but this is in second level. But in the first level, we need to provide to provide knowledge. How social actors, how Muslim women perceive its own veil, and how this vary from place to place, etc. So to jump to the second level and conflate the first and the second, it's really very problematic. And if you like, my first coming book is called Against Symbolic Liberalism, a plea for dialogical sociology, and I'm so grateful to Ramon Flecha. It will be even translated into Spanish. This book with the 4 case studies showing where really there is a problem. How cancel culture, for instance, it become a serious problem. And actually, I showed this come from the left and the right, but really, I mean, using this, if you like, intolerance toward different variation of the conception of the good that we refuse to let the other talk. I show other example on secularism, another example from sexual and gender diversity, which is extremely important for the conception of justice, but we should admit that that there is a part that is related to conception of the good. So we need to allow people to say we like a specific form of sexuality. This is part of the conception of the good. Always under the umbrella of justice. It means no discrimination against any sexual or gender orientations. So this is, if you like, this is my second example. Third example is about family authority, how Sweden and Norway as example. In Sweden, you have every year 4,000 to 5,000 kids removed forcefully from their family to another family. And this is really this conception that family is obsolete now. And again, I'm not chanting for any traditional family. It's really family with all its form. But there is a problem here. So this is, in a nutshell, if you like, what I mean by dialogical sociology, the insistence that we keep the two levels analytically separate. It's not important, etc. But in that case, we were able to talk with everyone, and by talking with everyone, really we think will be we stop people moving to the right. This is the only way I see it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this first reflection. So let's go to the second question, maybe. Why co-creation is important in dialogic sociology?
I start. Okay, so I think maybe co-creation links to the second level that you're talking about, no? This importance of everybody from whatever background, diversity, belief, way, styles, lifestyle that they're, no, that they come from or that they decide to have, or no, they should be able to express that, Philip, and talk with others, no? But respect others, no? So I think that the idea of co-creation, that now this word is also like a requirement, no, from the European Commission. So if you are building knowledge, you need to do that in dialogue with many diverse people. So I don't know if you realize, to reach this second level that you say, we as sociologists, can we go and do and study, I don't know, a minority population, like in Spain, like the Roma people, that they are the more stigmatized here, no? And go there from our beliefs, go analyze and go away. We need to talk to understand if we are doing, if we are studying sectors of population who are suffering inequalities because we want to improve, help to improve our knowledge, the life of, for instance, a Roma population or a marginalized community. We need to talk with these people, understand, and in order to create knowledge and see how to reduce this, no, or improve their situation, it needs to be in a dialogue with these people. So it's not that but this doesn't mean that our knowledge is not good as sociologists, like, well, that any kind of, so we bring the sociological knowledge in dialogue, no, with people's lived experiences. No? So I think it's not canceling sociological knowledge. No? It's put the sociological knowledge that we have been accumulating, no, through many currents of thought and thinking about society, thinking about justice, thinking about equality, thinking about democracy, no, accumulating in dialogue with lived experiences of the different people. No? So, and I think that. And this is why co-creation, the constructed knowledge, is important in society. And one more thing, and then maybe you can reply to what I'm saying, that I think it's another important thing about co-creation and dialogical sociology is that in the last conference of the European Sociological Association we had last summer in Porto, in the group of social theory, there were some people like pessimistic about social theory, like saying social theory is in crisis, nobody likes social theory anymore, and they were saying, who is today the new Weber? Who is the new Habermas? No? And it's like, there is, today, we are not doing sociology like that. We are not waiting for this big author, no? That is, we do sociology. This sociology is not looking for the big intellectual who needs to enlighten us. Yeah, is a society that is doing in dialogue. No, so because we come from different traditions, cultures, experiences, with that dialogue we learn from each other, and I think from this debate today we both have learned more about dialogical sociology. No, so. It is today the sociology is not done alone. I think will be not the great intellectual who enlighten us, will not. And by the way, when they say, where is the new Weber? I mean, there were no women's names about where is the new, no, it's like, not Weber or Habermas, yeah? No. So I think that also these authors have a lot of mistakes because they did a lot, they read a lot alone. And we need to do this in dialogue with people from different disciplines, different backgrounds, different sciences, and I think this is co-creation, and that I think it's needed for this kind of sociology.
Yeah, thank you, Marta. And again, in line with Marta say, I think whenever I think about co-creation of knowledge, I think about your laboratory and how you have done here in Barcelona. I think this is a really amazing example, whether about Roma people or how if you like. Reduce this. You have always, I would say, a safe distance between your informant and your researcher. Safe distance. It means that it's always in co-creation, but in the same time, if you like, there is a method of doing field work, connecting field work to theory and things like that. But if you like, co-creation means that we need to think. The dialogue is not. It's not a forums. It's not just a place where you bring opposing view and you co-create knowledge. It should be started from reorganizing the city. A city with a gated community and slums would never succeed in any forum we can imagine. I mean, co-creation should start by envisaging more, not only multicultural society, city, but more mixing in terms of social class. This is living together is part of this co-creation moment. Where researcher and informant live in the same place, because we know, I mean, more and more researchers belong to a strata, upper strata from middle class, if you like, compared to the other. I invite you to read an amazing book of Muhammad Gharbi. He is a Black American sociologist, book just published in Princeton University Press. He talk about symbolic capitalist, how wherever you have this strata of academics in United States, you have the inequality is higher, if you like. So it's really very provocative book about, I mean, to think that co-creation started from the very beginning of how we interact in everyday life with our, those we care to study them, if you like. Yeah.
Thank you. So do you think there is a crisis in sociology today, or do you think dialogic sociology can help to overcome it?
You start.
Well, this is exactly, if you like, following the work of Marta Soler. I mean, and I'm so grateful of her early work on the impact, if you like, and I learned a lot of it, and you know how I replicate some of the products here in the Arab world. So if you like, the entry point for Marta. So now I'm talking on your behalf, if you like. If you give, is that there's a crisis of impact, if you like, but not only. But if you like, my diagnosis is, I would say, is goes to say it's more than that. It's really it's about positionality of the social science. It's about what kind of who are the audience of social scientists. I mean, again, for me, in many places in the world, I will not generalize, you have a sort of anti-clericalist sociology. I mean, in the Arab world, for instance, sociologists are really, they failed just to talk with the religious people. And this is why there is so much stigma, so much rupture between religious science and social science, for instance, that this is the title of my book, my previous book. So here where, yes, our mission is to talk with those we like and we don't like. Mm-hmm. This is where I situate the crisis, if you like.
Well, I think that there is I think that you're saying, no, that will dialogical sociology help to overcome the crisis? I think it will. and I agree with what you are saying, that that there is this like distance, or no, that sociology that talks to sociologists. I mean, Michael Burawoy used to say, no, sociology for what and for whom. Yeah, you were saying for whom social sciences is talking to, no? So you were saying to whom we are talking, no? And many times we do things to talk about between ourselves, no? To other sociology will listen to us, and I think this is part of this crisis, no? And just to share with you, I mean, there was a survey. Well, I know this is being recorded, but there was a survey that today now there is a concern, at least in Spain, about sociology. There was a survey asking students what is the degree that you will regret more to study, and the second one was sociology. So students regret to study sociology, and I think this is, more and more we see less students that want to study sociology now, currently, yeah? And I think we have to rethink this as sociologists, because on the other hand, we're talking that how important it is today, precisely, yeah, sociology. So, but we need to do a sociology that talks to the people, that not talks among ourselves, that we like to talk our jargon, yeah. So I think that this sociology that citizens think it's important for their lives, because they talk also about their own lives, because we talk to them, no, in the many different languages, or we listen to them, or we provide solutions by listening, or wanting to listen to different people, different positionalities, no. I think this can help to overcome this crisis. That I think we are a little bit in a crisis, but we have hope, you know.
Thank you. It's inspiring. So you talk about vulnerable people and slums and diversity and so on. What is the difference between decolonial sociology and dialogic sociology? Who wants to start? You start, and then we go.
Okay, so, well, I came from a colonial country, colonized country. I am Palestinian. I grew up in a refugee camp. So, and in the time of genocide on Gaza, I'm extremely sensitive about the colonial, settler colonial enterprise, whether it comes from the colonial state like Israel or those who supported. I'm thinking about all the arm going to this country by liberal democracy countries. So I'm very sensitive to that. But when I did if you like, a few years ago, I co-wrote a book with a colleague, Rigas Arvanitis, Knowledge Production in the Arab World, The Impossible Promise, where I analyze paradigms in social science. And it was clear that beyond the validity of post-colonial theory, it means that really there is a Eurocentrism, there is a kind of, when we analyze journals, International Sociology, you were the editor, etc., we see this balance between the global north and the global south. So beyond this, which is absolutely correct, there is a post-colonial discourse that it become problematic. It become us and them. It become a kind of denial of the possibility that humanity have some universalistic concept, a basis for dialogue. Actually, there is no dialogue without. I mean, we are able to talk to each other because we share some language. So this us and them, and this, if you like, the excess of saying that everything comes from colonial power. So I grew up in Syria. I mean, that you, and there is so again, the horrible, some of the horrible left in Europe. I mean, supported Bashar al-Assad. Syrian regime just because Syrian regime is opposing United States, for instance. Again, all this, if you simplistic schema, I identify it in post-colonial and decolonial discourse. So again, I am not criticizing decolonial theory. I'm not criticizing decolonial, post-colonial, but more the discourse, if you like. And I think by opposing this decolonial to dialògica sociology, it's exactly to say, while in the same time I criticize any colonial or Eurocentric knowledge production, for instance, I want also to dialogue with them. So I can think about knowledge production, but I can think about even more than that. I mean, the same time criticizing the Israeli settler colonial project in West Bank and Gaza, but also being always open to talk with any Israelis. So this is how I see that the dialogical, if you like. It's not decolonial. It means that we erect a gap between the both sides.
Yeah, I think I cannot agree more. I think we agree on that. No, I mean, I think it's very different. Like Fanon, yeah, that talk about awareness about coloniality and need to decolonialize not only land but also the minds. It's very different from being aware that having the possibility to dialogue. No, so I agree totally with what you just said. So yeah, so maybe.
Thank you so much. If you agree, we could open the debate with the audience. So now the floor is yours. Si algú té una pregunta, es pot fer en la llengua que vulgueu, no hi ha problema. Després podrem...
Okay, thank you to both of you. I enjoy a lot your dialogue. I mean, I would like to reflect a little bit more about this idea of the good that you mentioned, no, and also regarding what the last question that you were talking about, no, about how dialogic society it's contributing to define or to be able to generate ways to define this good. No? For many years, I have been very interested in analyzing or in identifying the way that social theory has social impact in society. I mean, all the consequences, for example, of some postmodernist approaches, no, in avoiding or in making very difficult to identify ways of agreeing what is good for diverse positions, okay? And it has a very harmful effect on society because it makes impossible, for example, to living together, no? To define ways of living together. So I think that a very important strength of the dialogic society and the dialogic theory is to allowing ways to define this good without impositions, no? With this kind of procedures, ways. No, many authors are contributing to this approach, to this theoretical approach, identifying ways to incorporate all views, no, in what is universal for it, what we agree, no, as the human rights and the possibility to define what is good, and giving arguments against those that are appealing to the impossibility, no, to reach consensus among different positions. And I think that the dialogic society and dialogic theory is very important also for that, no, because it gives to us the responsibility as a social scientist to give arguments and to give theories to the people in order to make able to define these ways to define peaceful societies, no, in these moments of crisis, no, to give hope to the people, no, and for that I think that it's I'm very grateful, no, to have this kind of contributions, and I think maybe if you can talk, if it's the case, no, a little more about this way or this possibility from these positions, no, to contrarrest, no, these other arguments that are still very present in, for example, in the students, no, for many, because they are receiving a lot of influence, no, from different perspectives, no, how we can contrarrest, no, giving them arguments, no, about the possibilities of sociology and the theory to give tools to the people for contrarresting these views, no, of it's impossible to reach consensus, it's impossible to understand the other without imposition. It's very important for that for me, and I think that it's a good way to help also new students, no, students of sociology to believe in the possibilities of sociology in contributing to society.
Can I?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Maybe your comment. Let me maybe make a criticism of. I mean, in the way I present, criticizing my presentation, if you like, that in fact. The problem of liberalism, not this time as a thin theory, what I adopted, if you like, this balance between freedom and equality. This is how I understand on liberalism. But if you take it thickly, there is a terrible privatization of the conception of the good. And the more you privatize it, you will have a problem of managing the competing conception of the good in the public spheres. So in fact, the more you have dialogue, the more there is a possibility of creating a common good, if you like. And this is really extremely important if you like, that living together, if you like, necessitate a minimum level of the common good, and this is very important. And maybe to say also that the boundaries between what is justice and what is a good is also blurred. Just to give an example, historically, consumption, what I want to consume, is part of the conception of the good. Mm-hmm. But if you read the book of Peter Wegner, Carbon Society, it's so alarming, the level of the environmental catastrophe we live in. I'm wondering whether the consumption should be heavily taxed today in order to realize some kind of environmental justice. So if you like, you need to problematize what is justice today. Is justice between human being or justice also with the environment? So some of what classically is conception of the good should be leveled up to the level of justice. And so if you like, this is what I can, yeah, you might do something.
I would like to add something also to this. And I think something that we can do also, we do as sociologists, is to study, you're talking about possibility, no? Possibility of different people to talk about and to find a consensus or agreement about the good, no? And I think one of our roles is to study things that are already happening. So it's not that we will do this, no, in our office thinking only, yeah? So we go and, because we are doing a dialogic, we talk to many people. And I think we found many examples of how in daily life, in communities, people who are very different, who they don't share religion, they don't share belief, and then they find a way because to organize themselves because they care about both of them, very different. They don't talk different religion, different languages, but they care about their children in a similar way. They want the best. So this is something that makes them talk. And we have like schools, for instance, or we have like examples, no? that people, they organize and they found the good in this way. And I think we can learn a lot from analyzing very deeply this to see how to scale up and learn from this, and people are, no, and how to theorize from what people are doing with our theory, and to define together with the people this good. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to all of you. What I want to say is really follow up to that debate which Esther has opened, because I wonder, I mean, of course, I'm completely in agreement with the whole idea of dialogical sociology, and also in agreement with basing it in some understanding and acceptance of plurality in our societies. So that's perfectly fine. But I wonder whether if one puts the emphasis very strongly on these aspects, whether one doesn't end up with a somewhat reduced version of sociology, or what sociology used to be at some point. Maybe I relate it to Sari's opening remark with John Rawls, because after all, John Rawls was not a sociologist, he was a political theorist. And if we put too much the emphasis on dialogue and make that our main research strategy, together with the hope that dialogue will lead to a better understanding what we have in common, which it often will, but maybe not always, don't we lose out of sight the questions indeed of domination and oppression, where we don't have to, we cannot agree with saying that every understanding of the good, particular understanding of the good in society, is generally acceptable. It can have an impact on others, and many of the examples you have been raising show that, and a harmful impact on others. And that means maybe we need to connect dialogical sociology with a broader understanding of what you may call political sociology, with looking at institutions and inequality, not only as social inequality, but also as inequalities of power in the end.
I fully agree with you. I mean, the question of power is, I didn't have time, in the book it has a good chunk of sections on this, because it will be no possibility of if you like, starting a dialogue without setting a minimal level of power structure between different belligerent or different actors in civil society or in society. So so this is why if there is no this minimal power, if there is a domination, as you said, you need a social movement, and a social movement is the only way of reaching, if you like, what are the conception of justice for society. And in authoritarian countries like where I live, between Syria, Lebanon, and other and Egypt, where I lived in the past, I mean, in 2011, it was no way of dialoguing without revolution. I mean, and so dialogical sociology is not preempt, if you like, a moment of crisis, a moment of social movement, of revolution. And if I take, for instance, the women rights, it has been absolutely no way to redress women rights without social movement. The feminist movement was extremely hand in hand, if you like, with some with sociology, and often is more advanced than social scientists. I mean, to push hardly against patriarchy. I mean, something so entrenched in our society that absolutely it's not. Again, it's not a dialogue with the macho. It's to redress this power relationship in order to advance into the conception of justice. So I fully agree with you that this should be always present in our mind.
Yeah, just to add to this, no, I think I also agree with Sari, and I think it's of course talking about the dialogic perspective in a way of doing sociology. It's not think that there is not power in society, there are not inequalities. I mean, I think this is like of course there are power interactions in the social structure. There are so, and we talk a lot about, I don't know, for instance, in my own research or in our research, like a predatory capital that is promoting violence among young people. So this is analyzing, but with this analysis we can make a picture of the inequalities in society, with the power relationships that are there, and we need also to see those, no? But we are not describing how to change them. Yeah? So the thing that helps, and also to understand the power relationships, also we need to talk to the different communities, the different people, because otherwise, we are our own biases. So it's a way of position and talking, but also the way of researching how to overcome those inequalities. If we think that sociology can help, having knowledge about improving society, we need to analyze the reproduction of inequality and also ways of overcoming that. And that's why we think, and I think we agree that this dialogue help to that. Yeah.
Well,
first of all, thanks for the conference and for reminding us the importance of the dialogical sociology and co-creation process. But I have a question. Sometimes there are some communities that don't want to participate in co-creation process because they have had a bad experiences with researchers, particularly when previous studies stigmatize this group, for example, Muslim community or Romani community. And the question is, how can create spaces that overcome these barriers and rebuild trust?
Well, I think it's a very good question, because it is too often, I think, that sociologists or social scientists, anthropologists, they go to poor communities or minority communities, take the data and go away. No, so this happens, and then they publish their papers with their own biases or stigmas. No, like you were talking about Muslim communities or Roma communities. I think. But this is like, from the position I take here, like a dialogica sociology that is looking to have some impact in society. So if we're researching this community, it's because we are thinking that we want to see how we can help to improve. No? So this, as soon as these communities, they see that sociology is improving their lives, I think the trust will be recovered. But it's understandable that people say, like, I don't want to know, and more people coming to take data from me, and they don't trust us. No, I think it's something understandable. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. If you agree, we want, the Catalan Association wants to also do a tribute to Michael Burawoy as a great sociologist and also as a friend. So we want to ask our speakers to talk about Burawoy and his legacy, more or less about 15 minutes. And after, we can open also the comments, the debate, and so on. So I don't know, maybe Marta or Sari.
I start again. Okay. Okay, so maybe I think we will link dialogic sociology to public sociology, and there is the relationship to that, and it is, so we're jumping, no, but I think that it's both Sari and I were very good friends of Michael Burawoy, and I see some pictures are now going through there, and so it is, I think, good that we can talk a little bit about Michael and remember him, and also his work, and how he has left a legacy on in the global community of sociologists. No? So in my starting, I think that Michael Burawoy is an intellectual that unites three, see the pictures, three things, no? And you can see in this picture, no, with his friend Eric Olin Wright. I think he united in his person, he united excellence in the work he was doing, coherence, and also friendship. No? Since the very first time that he came to the Catalan Association of Sociology, I think we all felt that, no? And he has been here in this room and in this building many times, and we can see here in the picture, no? So, and I think that today many intellectuals, they live in contradiction with what they write and say and what they do. No? And I think Michael was the opposite to that. I think Michael was living in coherence with what they wrote and said, and what he was doing also as a sociologist and as a person. No? And I think that is something that we can learn a lot from him. First of all, I would like to share some of his positionings that are not so well known about him, and that unite these three things of Michael being excellent, but being coherent and being a good friend. And I think that makes him a truly feminist scholar. So it's something that is not so well known. I just wrote about this when I know that about his leaving us. So he was one of the first professors in the United States to take a stance supporting a victim of gender violence. And this is something that when last year there was a celebration at Berkeley of his retirement. Last year he retired as a professor from the University of Berkeley, and there was a big celebration, and many colleagues from all the US and different parts of were there, and there was Ruth Millman. Ruth Millman, she's a professor from CUNY. She's a renowned professor. She had been president of the ASA, the American Sociological Association, and in that celebration she shared with everybody that she did not abandon academia because when she was a student at Berkeley and she was sexually harassed, Michael was the professor who supported her. And so she didn't abandon, and there was a movement of students that were claiming against sexual harassment in the 1970s. And this is something that, I mean, if you have known Michael or have heard, he never talked about this, but he was very clear when he had to take a stance. He always helped victims of violence to become survivors. And also, for instance, also when my research center suffered a backlash for supporting victims of gender violence in the Spanish University, both he and Ruth Millman, they signed a public declaration in support of the research center for supporting victims. So he was also always doing that. He was not telling so much, but always there to help victims become survivors. And his coherence in this type of topics, among many other positionings that we have known about him in different kind of struggles throughout his life. I think this tells a lot about what he meant by public sociology. I think public sociology that he talked a lot about is very linked to also this kind of coherence and positioning with justice, maybe, or that we are talking about. And so the second thing that I'd like to talk about, Michael, is about public sociology, of course. So yes, the kind of public sociology that he proposed was bringing this coherence, between what he said and what he did, with what we say and what we do. And he would say, I said that before, he always said, like, if you ask this question, sociology for what? So for what are we doing sociology, for whom? Then he said, then you get a 2x2 table. Always. And in this 2x2 table, then you have different kinds of ways of doing sociology. And you get public sociology. Sociology for what? For reflecting, from improving society. Sociology for whom? For the public, for the civil society, for the people, not for ourselves. So this is public sociology, and this is what he made this 2x2 table, and he would talk about that. And I think he reopened this kind of debate of sociology for what when he was president of the ASA in 2004, and then he did it in the ISA, building a global community of people thinking about why are we doing sociology, and this sociology that can truly improve the life of people, that is not just critical discourse, that is that can make a difference in the life of people. And this is something that he made us think about that a lot. And that is why he dedicated to travel all around the world to find those sociologists in different corners of the world who were not only critical sociologists, but they wanted to make a difference by doing sociology. And this is why we met. Yes. Because he was putting us in contact see, he built a network of people who were doing this kind of public sociology. When he became president in Gothenburg, there is one picture here, well, it was here, I saw it, when he became president, he dedicated to build this also network of people from all over the world. Last week I was in South Africa. There was a meeting of the ISA, and there was an homage to him because he was very beloved person in South Africa, in Johannesburg. And there was an homage, and there were people that there from South Africa that I met them through Michael Burawoy, and there was Michelle and Vish, and they said like he built kind of a family, because now I see you or I see you, and then I feel like I have these connections. Like he made a kind of a family, and this is something that talks about. He was very generous because he was not meeting all these people to become more important, because I think that he was doing that because he cared about sociology. He thought sociology was important. He cared, and so he cared not about himself only, but about people, and that's why I think now he has left a very nice, good network of global sociologists, and which is a legacy that we carry, and we have the responsibility maybe also to carry that. No, he liked very much coming to Barcelona. Yes, he came many times. No, we first met Michael when he came in the ISA forum in 2008. No, and then he started to meet. No. And also he would like to come also to the Catalan Association. He's been here several times, and he said, no, I'd like to be with these people, this school of Barcelona, that they, no, because I think that he always said, like, you not only talk about public sociology, you do public sociology, no? He was always saying that, no? And that's, and he liked also that we take him to see the public sociology. So we took him to the cooperative of Mondragon in the Basque Country, yeah? Because I mean, they were not only talking about an alternative way of capitalism, no, of doing an economy, a non-capitalist economy, no, that they were doing a very successful non-capitalist economy, no. So he went there, and very soon when he met us, he called his best friend, no, Eric Colin Wright, and said like, Eric, you must go to Barcelona and meet these people and all this. No, you must go. And Eric did it. Yeah, he came. And this is like maybe the third thing I want to talk, which is friendship. And you see some pictures here with Eric Colin Wright that were here, no, with his friendship. No, he enjoyed very much with being with friends and colleagues to discuss with Eric. They tease each other. Especially Michael was teasing him, yeah. But also he cared a lot about Eric and his his theory of real utopias, always discussing against the real utopias, but then like really appreciating Eric theories of real utopias, no. And so he liked very much, yeah, discussing, but also being close to people, no. And this is about friendship, no? That he was, he cared very much about friends, colleagues that he found, no? So when Eric, he calls his friend, he met us, he called, you must come, meet these people, and then so Eric came, and then when we were with Eric in Mondragon, we went to visit a factory that they were doing car engines, and Eric's like, take me a picture of he was doing a car engine, no? And then right away when we went into the cars, he was like, I have to send this to Michael, yeah? Like not going to before, like open the computer and send the picture of him doing working in a factory to Michael. And in 1 second, Michael was getting back, yeah, and saying this. She said, not bad for a beginner. Yeah? So you know that Michael Burawoy, he did a lot of work in ethnographies, in factories in Zambia, in Hungary, in Russia. So it's part of his work. So he really knew the work. As I thought that Eric was talking, but he was really, and so like not bad for a beginner. So he always teasing, but also very caring about work and discussing and so on. When and to talk about his friendship with Eric Olin Wright, when Eric left us, he wanted to also talk about and the legacy of Eric. So he's been many places. He came here. There was also the picture when he it's not this one, but when he was here talking about the legacy of Eric Olin Wright, and he really cared about him. He organized a book. And in this book, with students of Eric or people who have engaged in Eric theory, and he took so much care of this book, he involved Eric's wife in the book. She's not a sociologist, she's not but he wanted her to know that Eric was important, and she was throughout the time in contact with all the emails, and she was responding, and then she was so grateful that the book came out and so on. So this is caring, I think. It's something of being an intellectual, but also caring about sociology, caring about people, caring about friends. No? And Marcia, Eric's wife, was involved in all the time. No? So I really believe that true friendship, like the true friendship that he had also, I think, with us, but also with Eric Olin Wright, with Ramon, with many other people, not superficial friendship, but caring friendship, is like this one picture, caring friendship, is what makes the possibility of being a great.
This is in Bilbao. It's very yeah. So
I think this makes the possibility of being a great intellectual. This he's been promoting public sociology, promoting a community of global community of sociologists to reflect about the what and the who, and for whom we're doing sociology, and strengthens collaborations and dialogues between us, and also builds friendships as he did. And I think this is what makes also a great intellectual, and I hope we can continue his stella of his way of doing things, with excellence and coherence and friendship, and he has always done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Actually, this 2 hours ago, I checked in a hotel where I met Michael Burawoy 1.5 years. He was invited by you in this association, and I sit in the same place where I spent 2 hours with him. He was very interested to see the difference between public sociology and dialogical sociology. I felt in the beginning he say, why this a new label? And in the end he said, no, yeah, you are right. I mean, there is something new here, and he offered me to write the foreword of the book I mentioned, Against Symbolic Liberalism. I prepare a text about his public sociology, but really I'm very emotional this moment. I mean, so I will read. So Michael, you are gone, and yet you are everywhere. Only 3 weeks ago, before he passed away, we spent a day together in Cambridge, speaking of Gaza and Syria, of struggle that animated your restless mind. The day before you left us, we exchanged emails about a statement supporting BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanction, a cause you carried with conviction, hoping to rally former presidents of the International Sociological Association to push the current executive committee toward courage. You were never just a scholar, never merely an academic voice in a wilderness. You were a guide, a force, a mentor, a friend, this kind of thinker who didn't merely theorize justice, but pursue it with relentless passion. I owe you so much. You took my hand and led me from the narrow corridors of professionals and policy sociology into the vast, unrolling terrain of public sociology. But more than that, you unmapped my thinking, urging me to embrace global sociology. How do we imagine public sociology without your unyielding presence, your tireless intervention? Your wisdom was never distant, never encast in ivory towers. It was lived, argued, practiced. You wrote a beautiful preface for my forthcoming book against symbolic liberalism. When you saw me cautiously optimistic about Syria, you wanted to add a paragraph on how I put my dialogical sociology into practice. You believed always that theory must breathe, it must find its way in the fabric of lived experience. In Cambridge, I urged you to write your autobiography, and you promised me you would, but fate has stolen you too early. We were left with the work you have done, but not the work you still have to do. This would still needs your boundless energy, your unwavering commitment to justice, your fearless questioning of power. In 2013, I invite you to give a lecture in Amman and 2 more in Palestine. As we approached the bridge connecting Jordan to the West Bank, I pleaded with you not to let the Israeli authorities know we were traveling together. I had already been denied entry before, despite holding a French passport. You believe that, as a British Jew, you had full immunity against such restrictions. I remind you that even Noam Chomsky has been denied entry. After much persuasion, we agreed to separate at the border. I walked up on one booth and you to another right beside me. The officer asked me where I was headed, and I told her I would be in Jerusalem. As she was filling out my details, I overheard the officer at your booth ask, "Is there your first visit to Israel?" Without hesitation and with remarkable calm, you responded, "Yes, this is my first visit to Palestine." I remember vividly how she looked at you, stunned, and as if she hadn't heard correctly. She repeated the question, and again, you unwavering steadiness, you reply, "Yes, to Palestine, because I'm going to Ramallah. Don't you consider Ramallah part of the Palestinian territories?" Her face flushed with anger. Her voice sharpened. "I will ask you this question once last time. Is this your first visit to Israel?" I turned to him, pleading silently, hoping you would not provoke her further. I feared they might deny you entry, but my anxious glance didn't go unnoticed. The officer handed my passport, caught me looking in your direction. She frowned and asked, "So you are going to Ramallah too? Why did you lie?" I tried to explain that I would be in Jerusalem, but she was unconvinced. The moment she saw Damascus as my birthplace, I knew I was in for very special treatment. Michael, did you remember how a moment later they returned your passport and let you through while I was asked to wait? Do you recall how we ended up waiting for over 3 hours? You were furious at that delay, and in my frustration, I silently blame you, thinking you had spoiled the plan. But you remember, despite everything, how wonderful the journey was. I rented a car to show you my birthplace of my parents in Haifa, and we wandered through the streets of Akka, where you ate your favorite meal, falafel, in the old city. Everything felt perfect except for the apartheid wall, choking Palestinian villages and towns like a noose tightening around their necks. I saw how it affected you, how you fell into a long silence, your gaze fixed on the grey concrete, cutting through land and memory alike. Michael, do you remember what you wrote after the journey in the International Sociological Association Bulletin Global Dialogue? And how did you visit how did that visit transform your understanding of the colonial policies Israel imposed on Palestinian everyday life? And I never forgot your weekly messages, checking on me in Beirut, offering words of comfort as I watched in unbearable pain the live broadcast of genocide in Gaza, the relentless destruction consuming both Gaza and Lebanon. Who will comfort me now in my sleepless night over Trump's plan of ethnic cleansing in Gaza? Michael, you were not just a theorist. You reshaped the very practice of sociology, making it urgent, engaged, and alive. Your idea don't die. Your presence don't fade. You are not gone. You are inscribed in every struggle for truth, every act of intellectual courage, every fight against injustice. I recall a Farisi, an Iranian poet, who once wrote, "One day, finally, my leaves will fall off. One day, finally, my eyelids will fall down, but the air in the garden will always carry, and the fragrance of my beliefs. I grieve this immense loss, but I don't say goodbye." Thank you.
Thank you, Marta and Sari. I don't know if anyone wants also to share any other memories or comments, ask questions.
Well, thank you. It has been very emotional, so I try to do that. Well, I would like to remember one of the moments in which Michael was in Barcelona I don't know if it was the first time, I'm not sure, but invited by our research center, no? He wants to know, as Marta said, how we are doing this sociology that is contributing to improve societies, no? And he was very interested in knowing more, and then we organized like a meeting, no? Very horizontal meeting in which different kind of people, young scholars and more senior, but very diversity of people working in different fields, no? I was explaining to him, no, and the way that we are doing sociology. And I remember a lot the way he was listening, the kind of dialogues that he was having with us, no, showing this his humanity, the way Marta was talking, and you also mentioned, no, the way he interact with us, no, and the way he value a lot, no, the work that we are doing, and the way the sociology was impacting society, no, and he encouraged a lot to us to say, and he was saying, you need to disseminate more and to transfer more the way that you are doing that worldwide, no? It's that the moment that Marta was mentioning, no? And so I just was trying to remember, I was like to remember and to share with you because for me, it was many years ago, it was quite impacting, no? The way he was interacting with us in this horizontality, no, as a big scholar, no, that was just sharing with us this moment. But he was, I remember his face being illuminated more and more after each of our kind of contributions, no, from different positions, no, and I think it was quite exceptional, no. I mean, in the academia world, no, to find a people, no, an intellectual that was encouraging, no, at the way he did, no, the work that because he identified, no, that it was having a real impact, no, and he was very interested in making our knowledge that globally, no, in the world. So I remember from that different actions emerged, no, in that sense. And for example, I remember that he invited us to participate in a video that was promoted by the International Sociological Association. That was one day in the life of a sociologist, no, that doing this kind of sociology. And I remember very much the way the moment of this video and the way we recorded it, and it was launched by the ISA, no, association. So a lot of actions emerged from that.
No, just to, and I think that when he became president of the ISA, one thing that he wanted to do, I mean, even for people who never met him, this way of bringing to light all the different people who are doing things in the world and doing sociology, and made lots of videos. He was calling those videos Sociology Live, and so to bringing this, and I think this spirit or this making us think about public sociology for the public. So this is there, no, and even those who didn't know him have read or see things in the ISA, and I think he cared a lot about associations of sociology, no. I thought, I mean, people say, oh, well, the association organizes congresses. But I think, no, he's doing more. In the ISA, it's very different after he was there. I think it has a mission, I would say a mission, yeah? It's like a mission of making this relevant, you know? Yeah. You wanted to say something, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much for what you shared. It's something that has been said or mentioned by you already, but that really struck me very much the first time I saw Michael Burawoy in action. He was there also in one of the pictures where he came to the opening session of the course, of the sociology course at our faculty here at the University of Barcelona. And it was very impressive to see how he would engage with everyone there. Like there was this stage where he started his conference, but he immediately went down to, it was a room full of students, of sociology students, and he really was very passionate, really sharing his passion about sociology as a discipline, which was, of course, very relevant for the event where we were in at the moment, but also as a sort of sociology that could contribute, that could make a difference, that could have an impact on the lives of people. No, that's something that was useful for society. And it was very nice to see students really follow him on the stage and really engaged into the way he was shining, with his passion for sociology and for young students and like the future of sociology. That was very, as a professor or starting, for me was very inspiring also to see that.
Thank you so much. Gràcies a tothom.